Hello everyone, welcome to Headlines of the Day. This is 5th of May 2022 and we are back again with some of the major articles from The Hindu today. So today in The Hindu we have a lot many important articles. Let's begin our today's discussion. On page number 1, 8 and 16 from GS3 economy section, there are three articles that talks about Reserve Bank of India raising the repo rate. So the first article is headlined as RBI surprises with 40 BPS rate increase amid inflation alarm. The second article is from the editorial section, Inevitable Increase, RBI's increase in interest rate was long overdue. And the third article says that off-cycle move hints at more aggressive rate increases. From these articles, you have to understand why did the Reserve Bank of India raise the repo rate by 40 basis points to a 4.4% and the rationale behind the move and what other measures to curb the accelerating inflation are required. Moving further, on page number 1 from GS2 Constitution section, there's an article, President has no role to play in the Pirarivalan's plea, says the Supreme Court. So Governor had no authority to transfer mercy plea, says the Supreme Court bench. So from this article, you can compare the pardoning powers of the President and the Governor of India. Moving further, on page number 5 from GS3 Science and Technology, there's an article, Kerala seeks to contain shigella spread. From this article, you have to learn the facts related to Shigella sonnei bacteria. Moving further, on page number 8 from GS2 International Relations, editorial article that talks about economic speed bumps yes, but no breakdown. So Nepal's vulnerability is linked to the lack of pragmatic policy interventions and abrupt moves towards self-sufficiency, says Mr. K.V. Rajan. From this article, you have to understand what are the economic challenges faced by Nepal, worrying trends, reasons, how it is going to affect India's interest, and more importantly, what role can India play in this particular context and the possible scenario ahead. Moving further, on page number 9 from GS3 Economy section, there's an article, Inflation Control Needs Another Model. From this article, you have to understand lasting inflation control would require placing agriculture production on a steady footing. From this article, you have to understand what is the inflation and inflation targeting, India's official measures of inflation, what are its causes and consequences, what are the inflation control steps of the RBI, their effectiveness, and what more needs to be done in this particular context. Moving further, on page number 9 from GS2 Polity and Governance. So the article is headlined as The Workers Hit the Hardest. Women and salaried workers have been affected the most by the pandemic in India. And this article is written by Mr. Mahesh Vyas. What are the findings of Center for Monitoring India's Economy Consumer Pyramids Household Survey? The issues highlighted. And more importantly, what is the possible scenario ahead? Moving further, on page number 10 from GS3 Economy section, there's an article headlined as The Status of GST Compensation Dues. So from this article, you have to understand what is the status of outstanding GST compensation due to the states and why are the funds owed to the states delayed, are cess collections not growing fast enough, and will the compensation period be extended beyond 5 years. Alright, moving further, on page number 10 itself from GS2 International Reports and Indexes, there's an article, India's position on the World Press Freedom Index. So what is RSF and what is the objective of this index? And what is the methodology used by RSF to assess and rank countries? What are the findings with regard to world press freedom? And what does this index say about India? Moving further, on page number 12 from GS2 Polity and Governance, there are two articles. J&K Delimitation Panel Award likely to be notified today. And another article that says that identification delays stalled pension, says the Ministry of Defence. From the first article, you have to understand what is the present status of Delimitation Commission for Jammu and Kashmir, why is it needed, how often has delimitation been carried out in Jammu and Kashmir, and what has been the political response so far. From the second article, what is the system for pension administration, that is the Raksha Sparsh portal, features and benefits. Moving further, on page number 13 from GS2 International Relations, there's an article, Modi holds bilateral talks with the Nordic leaders. So this is about President Modi's meeting with the premiers of the Nordic countries. From this article, you have to understand what are the outcomes of series of bilateral meetings with the Nordic leaders, the future areas of cooperation and the possible scenario ahead. Moving further, on page number 14 from GS2 Polity and Governance, there's an article, Highest Sex Ratio at Birth in Ladakh. Manipur has lowest, followed by Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu in 2020. From this article, you have to understand what are the key takeaways from the annual report on vital statistics based on 2020 Civil Registration System report. Alright, moving further, on page number 14 from GS3 Economy section, the article is headlined as Star Rating for Food May Mislead Buyers. This is an article that talks about the front of the package labeling, that is the FOPL. So from this article, you have to understand about the front of package labeling system, the importance of labeling system, challenges, and some suggestions and the possible way forward. So with this, we call it a wrap of today's edition of Headlines of the Day, The Hindu. We will see you with more such videos. Till then, take care and do stay tuned.